Hey, friends, welcome back to Iron Sharpens Iron. Sol and I are happy to be with you again today. And we wanted to take a moment and kind of do a continuation of a topic we hit on several months ago. We have a lot of friends, and I know for those who are listening, whether you yourself are going through this or not, like there's people in your network and in your sphere
Yep.
of influence that are definitely going through it because the job market has changed.
It's hard
And
out there.
it is so hard out there. I personally know several people who are still in the hunt several months into this. So we have a mutual friend that just barely landed a new position just about a week ago, Mr. Summerhays. Congratulations, Brian.
So excited for him.
Same here. And he has
Such a
been
good
like
leader.
wonderful, phenomenal leader, super
Such a
talented,
good
like
leader.
person that anybody would be like, any company would be lucky to have Brian. But he's been looking for over 6 months
I've
and
had a lot of great
it's
leaders.
rough.
I've been blessed to have a lot of great leaders, and some of the best leaders I've ever had. I want to throw props to Jay Fortuna, fantastic leader. I want to give props to Brian Summerhays, that person, probably one of the most. Man, he was good. Like he had this beautiful balance of just truly caring for me personally, but pushing me professionally and pouring into me intentionally. And it was just like his one-on-ones felt like a privilege, bro. It was crazy. It was weird.
That's a
So
big compliment.
it really was, man. It really was. It felt like a privilege to work under him. And I didn't even get the chance to work under him long, but I grew exponentially under his care. I'll say the same thing about Jay, but very different leadership styles. Jay was the really pushing me to be my absolute best because I actually absolutely had to be. Like the amount of freaking ambition that that man has in his pinky could fill a warehouse. And
Yep.
because of that ambition, we were just pushed to our absolute limit to be our best. That's why we have these gold medals and, all this other, world class stuff. Went to London to win an award because of Jay's pushing us to be our best. And then just the personal touch, which is like, I really love that guy. Like I consider him one of my, like a brother, like a true friend, like family member. So it's like I'd run through walls for him. So not only was I up working late as hell to make sure that the last initiative that he, thought up just recently that is going to change the world, that usually did, was executed, but I like went to sleep excited to like tell him about it the next day, as opposed to like
Mhm.
this job, bro. I need to, so it was that was great. But just going back to Brian, I'm just so happy for him. And if a
Me
guy
too.
like Brian Summerhays, it takes as long as it took him and others that I see in my network to get a job, it should be. It's hard out there, man. It's hard out there.
It's
It's
hard
not the
out there.
same world. It's a world that's just, I would say, perverted by AI, that's screened by machines. And you have to have different strategies today than you did, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It's not the monster.com days where you could just apply or walk in application when you're, like it's just a different world, man. It's applicant tracking
Just
systems, AIs that screen and all this other crazy crap. But I would
yeah,
love to
you
pick your brain on this, man, because you were closer to the talent acquisition space and the HR space than I was. I was more in the ops space. So what would you give as a suggestion for these folks?
well, I think before we talk suggestions even, it's level setting on what has changed. And this is something I've been following because as you know, Solo, like current company is in a bit of uncertainty. There's things going on in my world. And so, number one, for every professional out there, whether you are looking or whether you are just completely content and happy in your current role, always keep your eyes open.
Oh yeah.
Continue networking. Networking should never stop.
Yeah.
Reach out to people, engage with people, because if nothing else, it will make you better in your current role. Like the day you stop
Right.
growing is the day you die. So always be growing and improving your skill set because that effort will always yield very positive dividends. But aside from that, I want to start with just one thing from Martin Luther King Jr., which is it's a beautiful quote, and he says, "Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement." So optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence.
Man, it just gives me
And I think
goosebumps.
that is it is yeah, it's so critical for the way the world is right now. And so I've been following this. There's several people I follow on LinkedIn that are professional recruiters or have done recruiting a lot in their history. And they talk a lot about what has changed and how applicants have to change their approach. And I find it fascinating. As you were saying, so the world has changed so much with AI. When
Yeah.
you and I were growing up, you could still like grab a newspaper, and in the back of the newspaper would be the classified section, which eventually became Craigslist, but even Craigslist isn't
Mhm.
used a lot anymore. But the classifieds would just have job listings and a phone number, and you could just call. You didn't even have to have a resume. You could just call and say, "Hey, see you're looking for somebody. Can I come in and talk to you about it?" And they'd be like some paper application you would fill out. But you didn't even need a cover letter and resume and all that. But that was the old
None
days.
of
Yeah. And then it became, online applications, these HR systems like Workday and others. You would have online postings. And so you're going to monster.com and all these different boards that have come about that have all the jobs
it.
posted. And you could send an application and you could have confidence that a human being would see your resume, your
Yep.
application, review it against the job description, and there would be at least a human touch to say, hey, this person could be good. And I've looked at hundreds of those in my career. I'm not thousands because I'm not professional recruiting, but I've hired hundreds of people, interviewed hundreds of people in the course of my career, and I would personally scan resumes.
Yeah. Me too.
Nowadays, it's not that anymore. Most
No.
companies are getting, if you go on LinkedIn and there's the easy apply button, you are now competing against thousands of other people generally for the same job.
Tens of thousands.
Sometimes
Like,
tens
it's
of thousands, yeah.
ridiculous.
It's insane, and it's become easy, but it's like the old Staples was it Staples that had the easy button commercial? Yeah, Staples had the
That
easy
was
button
easy.
commercial. Hasn't made it easier on either side, really. I think it's still just as hard for businesses to find the right candidate, and it's extremely difficult now for candidates because that easy button has kind of broken things.
Yeah. There has to
Now.
be some type of, like, friction in the interview process to just carve out garbage applicants.
Mhm.
And when I say garbage, I don't necessarily mean, people that don't meet the job description, right? I mean, people that aren't willing to put in the effort to do a hard thing because they want something so bad.
Yep.
Like, I would take somebody who's willing to put in the effort and learn something that they've never done and stay up and work at it until they figure it out more than I would take an experienced person who could do it in their sleep but doesn't feel like doing it because it's like, I shouldn't be bothered to do that. Right. And it's like, I feel like our applicant tracking systems for AI have that flipped. I'm looking for the person that's experienced, the person that meets the exact keywords and the exact, and then is perfect fit. And it's an 87% likelihood that they're going to be successful. But they're a bum because they hit the easy button and they're not going to go above and beyond to do the thing because they're super qualified for this position. So I feel like the people that are getting the interviews, that are getting the shots, that are getting the at bats are the ones that you don't even want swinging at the ball in the first place. And the people that really like, you look at that. I remember, what's our movie with Will Smith where he came in with the paint on his pants?
Oh, the pursuit
And
of happiness.
yeah, man, like our
Love
boy
that
Will
movie.
Smith, Pursuit of Happiness, totally not qualified to be a broker, right? But just would put in everything, sleeping in bathrooms with his son, doing everything he could to get this job because it meant everything to him. And those are the kind of people that we want to hire. And those are the kind of people that unfortunately get carved out and filtered through before we even get a chance to meet him, which I think is a
Mhm.
travesty. So maybe we start a new applicant tracking system, you and I, that says if you're not qualified but are able to go through all these hoops, bells, and whistles, then we're going to give you a shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, and it's totally fair because I mean, you and I are optimists and kind of altruists in this way. Is like Simon Sinek. It's better to hire the person that fits your values and culture than it and just needs some training than to have someone that
Yeah,
has all the skills but doesn't fit your values and culture because you're just going to spend
100%.
the next 6 months trying to get rid of them. It's
100%.
yeah, and it's totally true. Now, friends, the issue at hand is the AI that Stella was talking about. They're keyword scanning, and most of us
They
know this.
are.
And so most of us are using AI to update resumes to try and hit on the keywords. And we're doing the same thing as everybody else. Now,
Everyone's
so
doing it. It was a
most
hit back in the day, but now everyone's doing it.
yeah, now everybody's doing it. And so what we're starting to find, and there's a lot of articles about this, is that people are allowing AI to write their resume, and the AI is crafting skill sets and accomplishments and everything else, and half of it isn't even real. And so now recruiters are getting really frustrated because they will give someone an interview and then they come in and they do this job screen and the person has zero experience, zero skills at all. Now,
Mm,
if it's a job that they're able to train them for, great. But if, and this is the problem, if you as a candidate are writing a bunch of BS into your resume and then you get caught out at it in the job screen, you're done. Like, go home. They're not going to pass you on because you just lied. And it wasn't you, it
yeah.
was the AI, and you just didn't take the time to review what the AI was saying. So how do we get around this? Because
I
the
I
lay of
want
the
I want
land.
oh, can I just go
Yeah,
back
go
to
ahead.
just AI thing real quick?
Hmm.
And just maybe it's just me, but this is one of the things that I've really been working with my specific team on. I love me some AI. I do. I use it in Excel. I don't know if you've used Copilot in Excel or Anthropic's AI just to build out, HTMLs or, Claude to do this, that, and the third, or ChatGPT to be a thought partner. They're fantastic, right? I
Hmm.
even will go so far as to polish my messages to make sure that they're polished and clean. But I've gotten to a point now where I understand that that is a bad thing for me because it atrophies my brain and my heart. I'll be sitting there sometimes like, I don't know what to say. And it's like, I have never not known what to say. Like, if there's anything, I talk way too damn much. And if I'm at the point where I don't know what to say, it's like, what is going on to make me not know what to say? And it's because I've outsourced my brain to these AIs. And I feel like everyone has. I'll look at like motivational or inspirational, like, say, morning messages because I run sales teams. And one of my sales leaders will say, like, good morning, team, obvious AI. There's M dashes in it. Like, M dash doesn't even exist on the keyboard. You have to hit like Alt 25578. Like, bro, you didn't hit Alt 25578 to put that dash right there. Like, you copied it from an AI, obvious. And it's just obvious. I really appreciate you. My heart fills with whatever because of your efforts. And it's like, no, you don't. You're a machine. You're using a machine. You took 50 seconds, 30 seconds to do something. Maybe you crafted it and edited a couple of things, but it's just fake, man. It's
Yep.
just fake. And I feel like we're so I would say, sick that anybody using AI nowadays, to me, is instantly tagged as just full of it. And like, I don't even want to hear it. Like, I see these, LinkedIn posts that are just obvious AI. I see these LinkedIn like tags like AI enthusiast, Gen AI evangelist, influencer, chief visionary, startup, expert, prompt engineer, manager, LinkedIn top voice speaker. And then it's like you look at their job history, it's like unemployed. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, like, calm down. And I think that we need to get back to the space where people are just human again. We're honest again. We're
Hmm.
writing our own resumes and articulating what we've done and the value that we've added in our own voice, in our own hearts. And we're speaking to actual people. And when we apply for a job, we go above and beyond as a just easy button apply with an easy button AI, the easy button your resume, that it is not even you, but we actually research the company and we find the telephone number and we see who the influencers are and the decision makers are. And we reach out to somebody that we may know or somebody at the bottom level and we build a relationship and we ask them to introduce us to a decision maker and we ask them for their advice and we call them on the phone and tell them how much we want it. We show up, even if there's paint on our shirt and our pants, like our boy Will Smith did, and say, I want this and I'm going to get this and I'm going to spend my last $5 to give you 5 for the taxi, even though I don't have it. And I'm going to get the job just like he did. And I feel like what would make the difference. But at the same time, here I am speaking to folks from my ivory tower, from the
Yeah.
job that I have, from the comfort that I have. It's not so easy when you're on the ground floor and you're just out there and you really do have this crazy job market. Like, I know a couple of people that are just truly fantastic and excellent individuals that have tried so hard and it's taken them this long. So what do we do, bro? Like, what do we do?
Yeah. And it is easy for you and I mean, we are both currently employed, so it's a great call out. It's easy for us to talk about it, but we want to give hope because, you know, Helen Keller and Helen Keller's story's amazing, obviously. Blind, you know, deaf, can't hear, like still learned how to communicate.
You
Helps
can't say
use
DD
Braille.
and blind anymore, bro. You got to come up with something else. It's deaf. I would
Deaf and
say
dumb.
mentally handicapped and blind. Yes,
She
that was
had
a
she had disabilities that affected multiple senses.
multiple sensory
There's our
deprivation
politically
difficulty.
correct way
Yeah,
of
yeah.
saying this
Helen
today,
had
right?
it rough. Okay, Helen had it rough.
She had it rough, and so that I
Helen
she had it rough. And her story's amazing. But I love this quote of hers because coming from her, I think is more impactful.
oh
This is
yeah.
optimism. Is this the sorry? This is the one I read before. That was not Martin Luther King. I mixed up my quotes, friends. Helen Keller's the one who read the one about optimism as the faith. That came from her. Martin Luther King's "We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope."
Mm, that sounds
Which,
more like my man, Dr. King.
yeah, that's more of
The
Dr.
first
King.
one was
So
solid, Helen Keller.
finite disappointment, never lose infinite hope. And that is, I think, explains the market today. You're going to have finite disappointment because the disappointments are going to come. Never lose the hope. But you have to accept the reality that A, you're competing against everybody else's AI.
Yeah.
So how do you still stand out? You also have to accept the fact that 30% of job postings on LinkedIn are fake.
Are they?
They are fake, and companies put them up for multiple reasons. So they're fake in the sense that if you go and you have your job search for whatever criteria you've put on it, half the links you click on when you click on it are going to say no longer accepting applications. Why? Because the company, for whatever reason, had to put it out there. And there's a lot of different reasons why they do this. They probably already have their internal candidate in mind for it.
They
And I've
just had to
literally
do
clicked
it.
on
They had to do it because of the legality.
the
Dang,
legality. And so you go
that's a good
and I
call,
saw a
bro.
job not terribly long ago, so just several weeks ago. I thought I would crush this. I looked at the pay scale, be a nice improvement for me. I had a lot of things. Went, looked at it. It had posted that same day.
2
Within
minutes ago,
hours,
already
I was like
closed.
2 hours after it posted, clicked on it, no longer accepting applications.
That's so wild.
It was wild. And so the easy button, just ignore it
It
because
just
you're going to
doesn't work.
waste your
There's
time.
nothing easy. Yeah,
You have to go to the company's website and search for it.
that's a good call out.
Number one, that's the only way you're going to know that the job is actually legitimately real is if it shows on the company's job board. So
Internal
go
job
to their
posting.
career site, whatever link, and look for it. And you apply directly on the company's page. Don't use your LinkedIn Easy Apply. Get rid of it. It's going to save you a ton of wasted time, friends. And you'll
That's a good
start to
call.
actually be able to apply for jobs that are real. Number two, and this is one that everybody's talking about, so it's nothing new. Any advice from any of the talking heads on LinkedIn or on YouTube or anybody else that's going to tell you this is you need to be able to find someone at the company to talk to. Ideally, the hiring manager. Sometimes that's very difficult to find out who the hiring manager is, but do some research and engage as a human, as Solo was talking about before. This is how you bring humanity back into the hunt. Is you need to be engaging with, a handful of people every day that are at companies you want to work for. Ideally, they're the hiring manager of a position you found
Yeah.
and engage with them and start to bring the humanity back in. That is going to
There's
put
also
you
tools. I'm
in
sorry, keep
front of
going.
it. It's going to put you in front of everybody else that's just clicking the easy button.
That's a good call, man. That's such a good call. And if you're going to use technology and tools, use the technology and tools to open the door to humanity, not necessarily take place of the humanity. When I say that, I mean, there's tools like hunter.io or what's the other one? Zoom info and a bunch of other tools that you could use to actually find internal telephone numbers, email addresses, contacts, org charts. Like you could find that, do your due diligence. Are you going to have to pay 5, 10, 20, 30 bucks? Yeah, but people are paying $35 for LinkedIn Premium anyway. But can we just back up real quick and say $35 a month for LinkedIn Premium? Like, what? Like, is that crazy to you or what? And I paid for it a bunch of times. Like, that seems
Mhm.
like highway robbery, but I digress. But like these tools like Hunter.io or Zoom Info, you could actually find the contacts and decision makers and reach out and touch somebody, right? Make a cold call, send a handwritten letter, send an actual email that's written by yourself with like a video introduction. One of the things that I always tell people to do, which I think is a hit, is start your own YouTube page. Not because you're going to start a YouTube channel, okay? Like I asked ChatGPT a couple months back, like I went through like I uploaded my resume, went through all the things that I love, I want, need, desire. And it's like, what business should I start? You know what it said? Well, the one business that you shouldn't start is starting a YouTube channel. It's like, okay, thanks, ChatGPT. That's what everyone wants to do. You know what I mean? But start a YouTube channel so you can put a suit and tie on or a nice blouse and actually dress up and introduce yourself to the actual person. Hey, Jake, my name is Chris. I didn't want to be overbearing, but I did want to be personal. I'm super
Mhm.
interested in your role. I think that I would kill it. I know I would kill it because XYZ. This is why I'd be a perfect fit. This is why no one else wants this more than me. And I just want to let you know I'm going to keep beating your door down until you give me a shot because I have that kind of tenacity. So feel free to reply here. Call me on my cell phone. Page me. I bought an old school pager just for you. Page 555. I'll return your phone call. And just do something that's like personal. Show your personality. Show you to them because the person is going to be the one that ultimately makes the call to give you a shot and hire you. Not a computer, not an algorithm. Algorithm is what you got to get around, what you got to get through to get to the person. But
Mhm.
you're not going to get through or around the algorithm with another algorithm because people could smell algorithm from a mile away. I freaking hate it, even though I use it. So you got to be you. You got to be real and we got to connect.
Yep. I love that. Do the introductory video on YouTube. I really like that. That's awesome. It's interesting. So during COVID times, I went through a layoff and I started a video series on YouTube. Well, I had the intention of starting a video series because I didn't realize how quickly I would run out of material for this specific series. And it was just going to be a video log of me going through the job hunt. So I
Mm,
only did like 2 episodes because
he
by
just got
like
the job quick.
because by day 3 and 4, I was kind of depressed
Yeah.
because I started going on LinkedIn and Indeed and seeing 5,000 applicants and it was posted like an hour ago. And so it kind of became demoralizing really quickly. And I wasn't in a good headplace at the time. But interestingly, the job that I did get that I had for a few months before starting with Go Health, the vice president of the company, before he interviewed me, did the standard internet stalking of the candidate, found the video I did talking about, hey, here's my first day after layoff and going through this, watched it, saw the humanity, and talked to me about it as part of the interview. And it was one of the things that actually set me apart is because he was able to find some stuff and actually start to see my personality and who I was. So it's great advice, though. Find ways to
I
get out there and present yourself in a very positive way because it's really easy to find people on social media stuff nowadays.
Exactly. And you got to differentiate yourself. Like you got to be unique. One of the coolest things I ever saw in regards to somebody's unique way to get a job is I saw this guy in downtown Charlotte with the suit on, panhandling his resume. Like had his quick bullet points on his resume on the little cardboard and was just handing out resumes to people to get a job. And like you're walking, people that actually are CEOs, COOs, CFOs, like leaders, VPs, they're walking up and down the street. They're driving up and down the street and people are asking them for $1 or just walking by and not say anything. But rarely is somebody walking up and say, "Hey, sir, my name is Jacob Anderson. I'm looking for any type of job that you could give me. I've experienced XYZ. If you think I'd be a good fit, take a look at my resume and just keep pushing." It's like, dang. I was like, man, this guy's a hit. If I could
Yeah, he's going
afford
to be
it,
head of sales.
yeah, if I could afford him, I would hire this guy in a second. I
Yeah.
also think that actually just the old school way, we live in this world now that's just microwave quick. We want to hit the easy apply. We want to do the morning motivational message through AI. We want to just hit the upload your resume. Like you upload your resume and then it's like, oh, next step, put in your work history, and you're like, I already did that with my resume. I have to type for another 3 minutes to put in all my stuff again. Like people like want it the easy way. But like
Mhm.
one of the best ways, one of the ways I feel like that's the same in the same vein is like we have these dating apps. You know what I mean? You got these like swipe, dating apps where you just, swiping and it's just like, oh, now I connect and oh, now I got a date. It's like, bro, you ain't never gonna find no keeper doing that. You're never gonna find, and I'm not saying that it's impossible. Okay, I'm
No,
not
I know
coming at
one
you.
person that has.
Yeah, I'm not coming at you all. People win the lottery every day. I'm just saying we probably won't win the lot. Well, I mean, you won't. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna let y'all know I'm winning the lottery. But old school, going up to somebody at the grocery store, going up to somebody in church, like going up to somebody organic and starting a conversation and saying, hey, I see that you're, yada, 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 and just shooting your shot. I feel like people need to shoot their shot. You see somebody rolling up in a Bentley, they're probably not unemployed,
Mhm.
shoot your shot. Sir, what do you do for a living? Ma'am, what do you do for a living if you don't mind me asking? I would love to join your company. Right now, I just got, laid off because of this, that, and the third. Here's my experience. I can learn anything. Give me a shot and I promise I won't let you down. I feel like, yeah, $1 billion. Someone comes up to you like that, pitches themselves like that, you give them a shot. You know what I mean? I've had so many people that have come up to or like talk to me when I'm suit and tied up and I'm at like a restaurant or I'm like I'm at lunch and I'm at the fast food spot and they say, what do you do, sir? Like, how would I get on with you? What do you think I could do? And every time, 10 times out of 10, I give them my phone number. And if they hit me back, I give them the steps to actually follow through to get on with me. It's never failed. Now, I've never had anyone follow through on that. You know what I
Yep.
mean? But
That's the kicker.
yeah, 10 times out of 10, I shoot, I give them the shot. I give them the shot. And if they want to shoot, they can score. So I think that anything that you could do to stand out, to be unique is crucial. And I think that the biggest way to stand out and be unique is not doing what the in crowd is doing now, which is just using AI for everything,
Yep.
using the easy way for everything. Do it the hard way. Write a note, write a letter to somebody and send it to them. That'll make a difference. So that's kind of where I'm at.
No, it's true. The volume of applications is not your indication of was it a successful day. The volume of connections you've made
Mm,
is what's indicative of a successful day.
that's a
And you
good
have to
call.
remember, like, we all are striving to become someone better. I truly believe, and I believe this is 100% true for every single person in the hunt. I believe it's true for me today, who's just more passively looking for, what my next adventure may be. And even for you, Solo, that, no, you found your next adventure. Are you still open to something even better? Of course you are. Because generally, the vision we have of ourselves is far smaller than what I believe the vision of our creator has for us. So
Oh, yeah, man. That's a good point.
remember, every single action that you are taking every day, that's a vote for the person that you wish to become. So if you are just going through the motions, well, then the person that you're becoming is a person that just goes through the motion. But if you're going through with intentionality and you have the faith and you have the optimism and you have the courage to reach out to people that you don't know and start a conversation, because that person can help you into the role that you're looking for, then you're becoming somebody who has courage and who can make connection and
Yeah.
ultimately be the person that can be in these higher roles that you're looking for. But
It also is
yeah,
no every opportunity what?
every opportunity, every application, the networking conversations, every interview, the skills you are learning, learning technology. AI is not going anywhere. Is it
Yeah,
overhyped? I absolutely believe
for
it's
sure.
overhyped, and we're gonna scale back a little bit, just
Yeah,
like we did during the .com era. But
exactly.
you still need to learn it. You need to be able to adapt, and so all of those actions you are taking are turning you and helping you become that person that you are looking to become. So, who is it
Such
you
a
want
good
to
piece
be?
of advice.
Take the action that's going to help you get there. But it takes
Such good
time,
advice.
and patience sucks.
Yeah, it does. That's such good advice, though. We have recently, I would say, gone back to the basics at my organization. And I say that because all too often, us as people, we want to look at the end result and judge ourselves or our efforts based upon the end result. I remember when I was a personal trainer, I was really trash at it, like my first year. And the reason being is I was focused on that end result. I'd have people come in and say, Solo, I want to lose weight. I want to lose pounds and I want to lose inches. That's usually why 90% of the people grab a personal trainer, right? I was
Mhm.
like, okay, how much you want to lose? 50? Let's go. 5 inches? Let's rock. And every time they'd come in, 2, 3, however many times a week, we jump on the scale, we bust out the tape measure, and it didn't even move. Sometimes it went up. First week of working out, you want to lose 50, you just gained 3 pounds of water. And now I'm like, and I had nutrition like crazy because I was focused on the end result until one of my wonderful training partners, who she was much more experienced than me, jacked, looked like freaking China from the WWF, just could bench more than I could. She like took me under her wing and she's like, you know why you're having so much fallout, right? And I'm like, no, tell me. She's like, because you're focused on the end result when you need to be focused on the behaviors. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, the end result is only a combination of behaviors done consistently. It's not about losing 50 pounds. It's about creating a lifestyle and habits where you show up to the gym, you do your cardio, you do your weights, you eat healthy, and you rinse and repeat. You teach them strategies on how to show up and how to motivate themselves to be consistent and how to talk themselves out of being lazy and showing up. Then you teach them strategies on how to do cardio and what target heart rate is and how fast they should be walking and how long that they should be doing it. Then you teach them what progressive overload is and what weights that they should hit and what exercise that they could do and what fits with their lifestyle and their femur length and all the other stuff. And then you show them strategies on how to eat healthy. And it's not everything at a time, but it's whole and natural foods. And then maybe hitting your protein and you rinse and repeat. You show up, you do your cardio, you do your weights and you eat right. You show up, you do your cardio, you do your weights and you eat right. And then over the course of weeks, months, and quarters and years, you look at the scale, you look at the tape, and they've lost more than 50 pounds. They've lost more than 5 inches. But more than anything, that doesn't even matter anymore. But the person that they become because of the behaviors that they've done is so much better and grander that ultimately is the prize. And I feel like instead of us judging ourselves based upon the interviews that we get or we don't get, the applications that are accepted that are not accepted, we start judging ourselves on the behaviors. What are the behaviors to get a good job? Every single day, you should sit in front of a workstation and you should put an X amount of hours towards getting a job. Every single day, you want to give yourself a goal of making X many connections. Every single day, you want to put in X many applications, but those applications are real applications that come from the heart, that have a cover letter that's built by you, that's really aligned with your passions and what you want to do. Every single day, you're going to follow up and try to reach out and connect with some decision makers that are tied to said applications. Every single day, you're going to check on where your application is and follow up and be persistent and do whatever. I don't know what all those actions are, but I do think that if you get the behaviors down of what makes you an excellent applicant, an excellent employee, an excellent job searcher, and you focus on those behaviors, you could look back on the end of the day and say, I won. And then before you know it, you'll have the interviews. Before you know it, you'll have the offers. Before you know it, you'll have the job. And I know it's easier said than done when you're staring down the reality of rent or mortgage being due at the end of the month, electricity being due, and your phone about to be turned off. But ultimately, the behaviors are what's going to win the day. And you have to do the right behaviors based upon what you have, I would say, intentionally designed, as opposed to the behaviors that are just on autopilot because you're worried, you're scared, and you're frightened like everyone else. So I'm just trying to pump out, mass produce applications, interviews, applications, interviews. None of that works. It's about
Yep.
quality, not quantity, to your point.
Yeah, that's the statistic I've seen for applications, just like blind applications. It's like 0.1% of job offers are coming from those.
Yeah. I mean, you can win the lottery. It's possible. I'm
Crazy.
gonna,
Like
but y'all won't.
1 out of 1,000. Like
Yeah, it's 1 in a million.
it's
It's 1 in a million.
nuts. So
Is it 1 in 1,000? That's crazy. Point one. Yeah, that's
yeah,
crazy.
it's very, very, very small. So, but that's great advice. So, like, I love that analogy because it really is. It's the behaviors, and again, it's easy to say when you're currently employed, but it's real.
That you just it's easier to say when you're employed, but it's real. That goes back to something that my wife suggested that we talk about in this podcast, which I think is brilliant, which is an actual interview journal, an actual next level journal. Essentially, the best time to find the next spot, or at least the projects and the things that you're going to use to get the next level of job, is when you're in the job that you're at, right?
Mhm.
And I think that all too often we just go through our jobs and we don't recognize and we don't document and we don't keep track of all of the wonderful projects and the things that we've done. Like, what projects are you involved in? What competencies do those projects just portray? If you want to get a leadership job, you have to understand what competencies leadership is. It's communication, it's, organization, it's project management, it's delegation, it's accountability, all these competencies. So, what projects have you been a part of that show I can hold folks accountable in myself? I can organize a project. I can hit specific milestones. I can overachieve on, key KPIs. You should get those things and actually have a repository that you keep in a note, you keep in a file, you keep in a OneNote electronic, Word document, whatever. So you can pull from. And you could say, hey, not only am I able to answer your questions, recruiter, hiring manager, whomever, but here is a freaking, you know, here is a just thick journal portfolio of information about all of the things that I've done that hit every one of these keywords you're looking for. Oh, you're
Mhm.
looking for communication? Here are all the projects that I can prove that I'm great at communicating, not only to my peers, not only below me, but up as well. Executive communication. Oh, you're looking for problem solving? Well, here's 4 projects that I had that were super similar to something that you're going to do. Uh-oh, the cat's opening the door.
Hello, Mia.
That's applicable to something that you'd want to do. What's up, buddy? It's a good looking son right there, bro.
He's
That's
beautiful.
applicable
Great
to
kid.
something that you want to do, that's something that you all are going to be involved in, that I've already done, that show these competencies, these behaviors, these keywords that you're looking for. So I think that keeping a repository of that, a portfolio of that while you're in jobs and you're in projects, is something that's really brilliant that I've never even thought about before, but what something that she did with her people.
Yeah, it's great advice. I've been asked for it before, and there's a spot on LinkedIn you can put your portfolio, and I'm like, what? Because once you're out away from that company, you lose access to like
Yeah.
everything that you
What were
have
your
done.
stats? What did you do? How did you do it? It's like, oh, and you could just, pull, what out of your, where, but having the actual receipts hits different.
Absolutely, and it's visible. It's great advice, folks. We hope this has been valuable to you. It's hard. Stick with it. There's a great scripture from the New Testament from Paul in his letter to the Galatians that I think encapsulates this very well. Let us not grow weary in doing,
Mm,
for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. And that's what it's all about. Keep doing the things, but make sure that your actions are value added. We've given you some different ideas today. Hopefully the explanation of like really what's going on will help you see the market a little differently, understand what are the challenges and the realities of what you're facing, and then have the different actions you can take that will bring you better results because they do
right,
work. And the
right.
people that I've been talking to that are starting to find job roles, most of them it's taking more than a week or two. It's
Yeah,
usually taking a few months
yeah,
or longer. In the case of our good friend Brian, it took about 6. The job that I'm currently in took me a year to find. I did a couple
yeah.
things along the way, but they weren't the things that I was truly looking for. They were just stepping stones.
I would
And then,
love to talk just a
mhm, of
little bit about that before you continue, Jake. This is my parting advice.
course.
Don't be scared to humble yourself into a stepping stone type of role. I see all too often some of the people that I used to directly manage, or I would say, cross functionally work with. And I see them shooting for the stars. And I'm not saying shooting for the stars is a bad thing. You should. But I also think that you should humble yourself and be okay with taking a step back and not necessarily making or doing your ultimate passion to get into a company that has the right culture, the right values, the right trajectory, that you can grow into the role that you really know that you'd be great at. Get your foot in the door sometimes. Excellence
Yeah.
is something that's rare and something that people that are in decision making positions can smell and see all over you. And if you come into a role and you just showcase excellence, you will move up quick. Excellence is rare. So don't be scared to step into one of those stepping stone type of roles if you can find the right culture, the right company, and the right trajectory that they have.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, friends, the waiting season, it's not wasted time. the things you're doing are not wasted, provided you're not just spamming applications everywhere. That truly is wasted. But the connections you make and the research on companies that you really want to do, so you can go talk to the people there about how you would solve problems that the company is facing. You know, the improvement in skills and development that you go through, all of that is value added time. It's helping you become the type of person that will be ready for that dream role when it comes. So it's not
Yes.
wasted time. You're in preparation time. And remember that. But we love you, friends. We'll catch you next time.